Hi, this is a booktube video today because I thought I'd show you what I read over 2018, and let's just say I did really bad. My target was 30 books. I did 18, but I don't know, my target this year is 20. Hopefully it'll be a bit better because I'm determined to read at least one book every fortnight-ish. But here we go. So I'm going to show you the books that I read near the beginning, all the way to the most recent ones that I finished. I've lost 2 books, and I'm looking and I can't find them anywhere. It's actually going to bug me. I really don't know. But anyway, let's just get into it. So the first book that I finished, I actually started in 2017, but finished in 2018. That is Little Women. This is one of my favourite books ever in the entire world. This is the first half. The second half is Good Wives, especially for, I think it's the British version, they split the book into 2, I don't know, but this is the first half, so basically all the sad stuff hasn't happened yet, which I'm nervous about, but I will be reading Good Wives this year. And the second book that I have read is Dorothy Must Die, and I think I said in a video before that I didn't really enjoy this one, because it was just, I think it was overhyped, and I didn't enjoy it, so there we are. The third book is one I really can't stand because I read it so much in school, which is 1984 by George Orwell, and I just read it because I think it's part of my Rory Gilmore reading challenge. It's more than likely is, and a part of my bucket list, 100 bucket list that I've got, and yeah, didn't enjoy that one. Fourth book is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I love this book, it's so pretty. Oh, it's just so cool. Yeah, this is just the ultimate childhood book of mine. I absolutely love it. The next book that I read, I was given a like extract when it was about to first come out, and I really enjoyed it, so I like pre-ordered the book in time, and it came, and I love it. That is Toto. This is basically the story of the Wizard of Oz, but from Toto's point of view, and it's really lovely, it's really, really nice, and it's different. You got to see his insight on what he thought and felt during the Wizard of Oz. So this is really cute. The next book is my twin, as I get called a lot, and that is Matilda. I grew up, when I was young, oh my phone's going off, when I was, I think it was about 9, I think the film was like 7. Something, I can't remember when the film came out, and everyone kept calling me Matilda. I didn't understand why, and I found out, and I realised that when I was younger I looked like Mara Wilson, who played Matilda. I haven't found the picture yet, so I will show you guys and I'll be like freaking out, but Matilda is one of my favourite books and is possibly the reason why I read so many books at the moment. Well, not at the moment, from forever. The next book is one of my third favourite Roald Dahl books. That is Danny, Champion of the World. I remember watching the film first when I was younger, and I loved that film so much, and then I read the book and I loved that how the film was quite close to the book, except the period of when it's set, but this is possibly one of my most favourite books to read ever. I'm continuing on reading Harry Potter, and I was going to try and read all 7 books last year. I didn't do very well because I only got as far as this book, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This is one of my least favourite books of this one, because a character dies in it. But it's just massive, look. And this one's really old. This is actually my first edition book I ever bought. And obviously I will never be able to sell it on because it is so badly ripped and it's yellow, and it's just, I haven't got the dust cover for it. Okay, the next book that I read was not one of my favourite books ever. I did like it when I was younger, and as I read it this time round, I didn't really enjoy it. That was Persuasion. That was Persuasion by Jane Austen. I don't know why. I just didn't like it, but I like the pretty cover. Every year I read 2 books, and I read it every year on the dot, and one book I didn't read last year and I'm really gutted. I thought I had read it, but I hadn't. But the second book that I always read once a year, that is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. This is one of my favourite books, and as you can see, it has literally fallen apart spine is completely broken. It's got nail varnish on it for some reason, and it is just so old, but this is one of my favourite books ever to have read, and I will read it again this year along with Pride and Prejudice, which are the 2 books I read every year. The next book I got excited to read, but then when I read it I was just like, this is okay, but it's not the best. And that is When the Curtain Falls by Carrie Hope Fletcher. It is a good book. I would recommend it to anybody, but it's not one of my favourite books to have read this last year. I felt there was a really good storyline. I loved the back, like how the 2 stories clashed, but I felt like there could have been a little bit more. I don't know what, but it could have been a little bit more. The next one is a threequel. So it's not technically, it's a sequel to one book, but it's not a sequel to the original book, but it is. Oh, I know what I mean. And that is Still Me, and it is a sequel to After You and Me Before You. Me Before You is one of my favourite books, and it makes me cry every time I read it. After You was okay, but it was just a bit, but this one I didn't enjoy as much as I did Me Before You, but it had a good story behind it. And the next book is part of my Rory Gilmore reading challenge, and that is Time Traveller's Wife. I love this book. Don't like the film. If you like the film, please go and read this book, because this book is so much better. I promise you that. I love historical fiction, and the next book is one of my favourite books from historical fiction, and that is The King's Mistress. And I had to think then, what's The King's Mistress? This is about Charles II and one of the women who helped him escape from England during the Revolution. I can't remember what it is. I'm not very good at Stuarts. Tudors I'm very good at. The Stuarts I'm not very good at. What's her name? Oh, Jane Lane, she was called. And this is like kind of like a twist on the truth of what happened. The truth is she just helped him escape, and in this the author plays on the fact that they could have had a relationship. There was rumours, all that jazz, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's basically a fictional retelling of the tale that happened. Okay, we're down to the last 4. Okay, last month I went through a Roald Dahl phase. I basically tried to read as many Roald Dahl books. I read 3. I'm reading the 4th one, but I haven't finished it yet. I'll finish it like tonight. The 5th one that I read was The Twits. I literally read this in 20 minutes. I love these books, and I was just like, I just sat down and thought, I'm gonna read Roald Dahl. So I picked up The Twits, and I looked at the time. It was like 8 o'clock at night. Looked at the time, it was 20 past 8. I was like, whew, okay, finished. But it's a funny book, it's really, really funny. Next one is another Roald Dahl book, and again this like took me an hour to read, possibly less, because they're so thin. Look, all the books are really, really thin. So I read Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I do love this one. I think this was one of the first Roald Dahl books that I ever read. It's either that or The Twits, I can't remember. So long ago. But I love it, it's just so funny, and how, you know, Mr. Fox is just a clever fox. The next one, I remember, can you tell me please if this happened, was there a play of George's Marvellous Medicine? Because I remember watching Blue Peter and seeing like an extract of the play, and I just remember that. So can you tell me if that's true? Please let me know if that's true. But the next one is George's Marvellous Medicine. Again, this was finished in like an hour and a half. I got a bad habit, and then my battery's running out, so I'm gonna be really, really quick for the next bit. The last book that I read was Haunted Wales. It's just basically haunted Wales, or places in Wales that are haunted, or supposedly haunted if you're a non-believer. But anyway guys, I hope you're all well. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos that are random at the moment. Bye!